Yep, you're the birthday princess.
There you go.
You have been crowned.
Wow, nice.
That's the other way. Yeah, that's all right.
One, two, three. Nope, that's fine. You know, yeah. One, two, three. Lucius, there you are. Wow. Good.
Uh-oh, watch out. No. No reason to be nervous. Yes, he's behind you.
I'm breathing down your neck.
What that breeze was. Oh, you can rip it. You were doing so good.
Strict handles.
Yeah, look.
Mom, this is to you. I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this because it's your birthday, and you were my biggest supporter and friend. My entire life, you have been my biggest supporter and friend. You were never too crazy for my busy ideas and crazy dreams and schemes, including some of the following. Together, you and I reupholstered my old Volvo, my 1960s Volvo. I'd never done that before. That was very hard, and I roped you into that, and you were all about it. Do you remember that?
I got roped into installing the stereo. I remember it.
And I got roped into driving all the way to Santa Barbara in the Volvo with her.
And that was my first car, and Dad hated it because it was not a car he liked. It was an old car, and I had to have it, and you helped me make it look really cool, and I was all about looking cool my freshman year. So then I decided I needed to have hot pants from all the magazines from New York. So you and I went to the Venetia leather factory, and you helped me. We went there, and I got leather to make hot pants. To make hot pants. Back in the day. Hot pants were little short pants because everybody was wearing them all through New York, and I had to be the coolest freshman kid in the class. And I was.
So look at the debauchery you were encouraging.
And then you and I together, without you, I could have never done my modeling ever, because you drove me all through San Francisco for all my interviews and my modeling jobs, and you would circle the area so that we wouldn't get a ticket while I did my interviews. It was crazy. I couldn't do that. I was young, and you were right there with me. Do you remember that?
Well, I vaguely remember that. I don't remember it as
No, but you were so supportive. All my schemes, all my dreams, you were right behind them. That's what I'm telling you. And this is what every good mom would do for their children. And I'm so grateful for you for that. And then Blue Chip Cookies came along. And then, of course, you were right there with me.
Eat the cookie.
To eat the cookies, make the recipes, write everything down first. And our 16-hour days, we worked together. You and I did that. Many, many years, you and I working together. And you were so supportive and so loving through the whole thing.
We'll work for cookies for him.
And then, of course, Lindsay and Adele came along, and you were the most loving, amazing grandmother anyone could ever ask for. In fact, you've raised the bar so high for me, I don't even know if I can reach it. It's so high. And my girls love being with you, almost more than they love being with Mom. They're like, Grandma, we want Grandma. Of course, and you were, and you taught us all about Jesus through your unconditional love, which I love that about you. And you taught my daughters about that. And this is an eternal blessing that we will carry on to the next generation, Mom.
Thank you so much. That just means more than anything you could purchase.
You have loved us unconditionally, and you've showed us Jesus' love beyond probably anybody I ever knew. And I love that about you, and I'm so thankful. My girls experienced that, and this whole generation has experienced that with you. So you can always know that you did a job well done as a mom and as a grandmother and probably a great-grandmother. So I just want to tell you that I love you dearly, and I'm so thankful you are my mother. And God made you my mother. So that's all. I just want to tell you that. Yay. Happy birthday.
I'm just breathless. It's so beautiful, Lorena. Well, more to me than anything you could buy.
Of course. Well, thank you.
And it's just, except cookies.
You know,
have fun at school.
I'm hopeful that the story I tell means more to you than anything that I can buy because I didn't buy you anything.
Richard's West.
But what I want to say that I really admired about you, Mom, was when I was
You can do it.
You guys, I'm obsessed with model airplanes, and my dad didn't share that with me at all. You did.
Oh, wow, Mom, that was so cool. Yes. That was
So, I mean,
amazing.
I had a great dad, but he did not share my love of model planes or modeling or motorcycles or anything, and you would always indulge those interests in me. Take me to the RC field, take me to a hobby shop.
Yeah, but didn't you burn down like some trees at the school with a model rocket? I think he lost a model rocket and it burned down some trees at the school that his dad worked at. So.
Well, she would bring the fire extinguisher.
It's a rough family.
But I mean, now the one thing I might question was there was some older guys at the RC field that told you if you'll drop your son off at, Livorno Road, we'll pick him up and take him the rest away. That was probably a questionable thing to do, but it turned out okay. I lived through it.
And
but no, I
your
mean-
paper route.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, Dad helped me with the paper route, but I'm just saying the model airplane hobby and a lot of the interests I had growing
Yes.
up, my dad just wasn't interested in them, and I don't know if it's because he was too busy, he's working too hard. But you always supported me.
Yes, Mom, you always supported us. I wouldn't have been a model without you. And there would have been no Blue Chip cookies without
That's
you.
so cool.
Absolutely not.
Thank you, Karen, because I enjoyed doing it. I loved every minute of it. So don't think of it as a hardship.
No, you were great. We're so grateful, and I hope I can do the same for my children and grandchildren. I agree. Thank you. You were so supportive through all our schemes and dreams. Let's call it schemes and dreams. Oh my God. I was always on the cutting edge, and you were there.
Then I had a scheme.
And then Debbie had a horse.
I bought my friend's horse when I was in 8th grade, I think for $75.
That's a screaming deal. That's a screaming deal.
That was in 69.
What'd you name that horse? What's the name?
Nugget.
Nugget.
His name Glue.
But anyway, and then we had neighbors up the street that had horses, and so it was just, you know, it was inevitable. I was in love with horses, and then I got the harebrained idea. Well, I need to breed my horse. We need to have a baby.
Of course.
And I mean, we had to take the horse. I had to rent a trailer, and we had to drive up to Petaluma where the stud farm was, and Lori and Richard were dragged along.
The
and
worst
it was
experience of my life.
Scarred me for life.
Mom and Dad had us watch this. I'm like, what? My eyes, my eyes.
Anyway, once again, Mom was supportive more than Dad, but it was
Yes.
just like, okay, well, if you're paying for it, all right, well, you know. And so, anyway, that was several years. That was all through high school, pretty much. And we had a beautiful little baby named Shiloh. And you didn't? No. What?
You should know it, Carla.
I know. She had a horse.
I had a horse here. I never
Well, anyway, yeah, so all through the harebrained ideas, I think Mom was always there.
Yes,
And
always there.
And she is still always there. No matter.
Mom, if I say anything about my mom, she is 3/4 half full, and Dad was 1/4. So there's the difference: 3/4, 1/4. So if you want anything to happen, go to Mom.
Yep.
She's like, oh sure, that sounds great. Let's do it. Right?
Oh, and remember, oh, I was gonna say, remember the pool?
Oh yeah.
Dad built our house on Meadow Lane in Walnut Creek. Beautiful house, and we had a pool, and Mom had to have this mosaic dolphin on the bottom of the pool. And it was all individual little half-inch tiles that she had to make sure was laid
Do you remember
out.
that, Mom?
just
Do you remember
right.
I didn't know that was her idea.
Yeah.
You have created gorgeous homes.
Oh, and the quilts. Oh my God.
Quilts, homes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So there's no doubt we got our artistic prowess from Mom.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, for sure. Cooking, love for cooking, love for baking.
Yeah.
It all comes down the line.
Yeah. Anyway, Mom, you are an amazing mom, grandmother, and grandmom to all these people here. And we
Is she a
all
great
love you,
grandma,
which is
too?
why
Yeah,
everybody's
she is.
here. For you.
Appreciate it so much.
Well, you deserve it.
I got a story up here.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Eric. Eric!
So, my story is this story is about the only time I ever felt the wrath of Grandma. Only time. It was Saturday. I was a little kid. I was probably this tall, you know. It was Saturday, and we went out and we got some pastries. Picked up some pastries, and I'm excited. I think we're gonna eat them for dessert that night. We had a split pea soup, I think, homemade split pea soup. Had these pastries, but they were for tomorrow. They were for the next day. When we woke up and got ready to go to church. So the next day we wake up, and this is at your old house. You know what I mean? And Grandpa got in the shower first, and you were trying to get me into the shower, and I'm stalling, trying to, because I'm thinking about them pastries. So I'm stalling, and you're like, you know, Grandpa's, when he comes out, you're gonna get in. And I was like, oh no, I'll get, like, I think I tried to, you know, work something where it was like, you and him, you have a routine. You and him, boom, boom, you got this, you do this all the time. So you do it, and then I'll come in after you, right? So Grandpa got out of the shower, smelling sweet like suede, getting ready for church, you know what I mean? And I think I had it in my head that, you know, I convinced Grandma that she was gonna shower next. I would shower on my own time. So I think she's about to shower, and I go around into like the laundry room and get a little stool, and I plant it in front of the oven, and I use the oven door, and I climb up, and I'm using the gas stove, the grates on the gas stove, and I climb up onto the counter, and I'm on the counter, and I figured Grandma's not gonna miss, you know, one pastry, maybe half a dozen pastries. I can get away with this, no problem. So I get up there, and there's like a big, you know, glass platter, and I take off the lid, and I'm crouched over it like an animal, like crouched over this thing, just like eating pastries, you know, on the counter at 6 a.m. before church while everyone's getting ready. And she come around the corner, and she's like, Eric, and I look around the corner, she's like in some garment, she's about to get in the shower, whatever, and she's like, Eric, you get right now. And I was like, whoa, and I jumped off the counter. I was like, well, that's the lesson. Never put your hands in a cookie jar. Never did it again. That's the only time that I ever felt wrath from Grandma. All else, it was just, well, that was love too, but all love, but that was the only time. And I was
Sacramento, sit, and I forget the name of the stadium at the time, the basketball stadium.
3 a.m. in the morning?
And sit there and wait to buy George Strait tickets.
I love it.
We would sit there, and then also what we would take to eat, we were on this diet. Remember that soup? That one was all the vegetables with the zucchini and all of that stuff. And they would sit there and eat that. But we would finally get our tickets, but we would be on the first or second row all the time. So nice and close. But that takes a good friend to do that early in the morning, to leave here. Yeah. Because they would open up at 7, and we wanted to be there by 5 to get a good parking place. And we would make it and sit there, and we had a good time. We did. Excellent. And made lots of friends. So, but she's a good friend, and I've considered her one of my best friends forever.
I love you.
Yes, Charlene.
No,
we love
I-
you.
Charlene, you're
I
got
have
a heart of gold.
missed her.
I
Thank you.
know. They've been
Yes.
friends forever.
Yeah.
You guys have.
The minute we worked together at the church, when we first merged, we hit it off right away. We did. And Lyle once told me, and I'll never forget this, but this is his favorite. He made me feel good. He said, Charlene, anything ever happens to me, I don't have to worry. I know Shirley has you because you guys are more like sisters, and you're like a sister to me.
Wow.
That was a compliment. Yeah.
Cheers. Wow, that's great. Wow,
It's just 'cause we
beautiful.
were so close.
Yes.
That's a good story.
And I'm Charlene Forrest. She's got 2 friends, Charlene. The other one is Charlene Forrest. But she's finally remembered I'm Charlene Forrest. So, yeah.
Well, I'll take you. I don't care what your name is.
I believe it.
Well, you're worth every decision and every medal and every
We did a lot together.
and
Yep.
each word.
We baked together. we worked together, we laughed together, and we loved George Strait together.
I was remembering you served women's ministries
We were
together.
women's ministries together.
I was remembering, and like they had a fashion show of wedding dresses. Dressed me up in my mom's wedding dress, and we had tea party. And I remember Grandma and Grandpa. We would always, like, if we rode with them to church, we'd be the last there to like clean up all the communion cups and like straighten up the hymnals or Bibles or whatnot. And then often go to lunch, and especially when we're younger, we get the IHOP Funny Face pancakes like every Sunday for a long time. So that was fun. Do you remember getting those? Going out to eat with the lunch bunch, your lunch bunch? They had a group of friends. They'd always go out to lunch after Sunday, and even when we'd come home from school, college, or whatnot, it was like, oh, maybe we'll join the lunch bunch this week, you know. So that was fun. And then, of course, the doll room. I would go to Grandma's to stay the night and go in the doll room, and we couldn't take the clothes or like change the clothes of the dolls, but you like could be very careful if you touch them or played with them, and can't mess their hair up or anything, you know. So all that. Do you remember your doll room? All your dolls? You had so many doll collection. And of course the quilts, like you mentioned. I was like, oh, I should have brought one, but I was just going to read a scripture because I feel like this sharing what we love about you reminds me of the Bible verse Lori and I were talking about too. And I was found it in the Passion Translation, and it's in Ephesians 6. Children, if you want to be wise, listen to your parents and do what they tell you, and the Lord will help you. For the commandment, honor your father and mother, was the first of the 10 commandments with a promise attached. You will prosper and live a long, full life if you honor your parents. So I thought of the kids like Star Wars, you know, live long and prosper. I'm like, hey, it's in the Bible, that's good, you know. So, but you honor your parents. And so we honor you, Grandma. Thank you so much for all you've done. And could go through a list of 90 things we love about you and more, you know. But I just had a blessing to read, and I was going to have Hannah help me read some of it. But I can do it at the end if there's more people who want to share it, and I'll just do this like a closing prayer if you guys want. Anyone else want to share? Bethany, you got anything? Kim? About Grandma? You want to share any stories?
I can't think of any to tell.
Leanna, come closer so she can see you. Here. Yeah.
I don't know what to start with. I don't have like a specific.
Maybe Hannah, can you move so she
Yeah,
can
you gotta
sit there?
speak up loud for everyone to hear.
Okay, speak up, please.
All right, I just said I don't have a specific story, but
Bring him so she can.
I remember all our tea parties we did, Grandma, and they were just perfection. Like the way you just did everything was just, you set such an example. Yeah. It's like, I remember, I don't know why, like every Easter
Can you
you would
speak
just,
up a little bit? God, we're old back here.
every Easter she would give us like,
tea parties.
Oh, I know, right?
you didn't come to the tea parties?
Still didn't get to either.
Well, you were just young enough, I think, to not. Yeah.
It's all girls.
Wrong set.
And they were really special. And to this day, I love a tea party and high tea because of you
Yes.
and your influence. And yeah, just, I mean, I remember every Easter you give us like teddy bears or bunnies. Remember those big bunnies we got, Adele and Lindsay? We'd get the same present. And the same like Easter basket and
See's candy.
See's
and no one said
yeah,
See's candy.
See's candy. I always think of you.
Shopping trips to Macy's or something. Yeah, no.
Yep, a lot of shopping. I got my love of shopping from Grandma.
Thanks, Shirley.
Thank you, Grandma.
Shirley.
James, well, thank you.
I'm sure.
I don't know. You just had such a huge influence. And positive.
A matriarch.
Everything positive.
Yes.
Yes. So, thank you.
Yes. Best Christmases, amazing, over the top. I've got Raggedy Ann dolls this big. I don't even know what to do with them because they're in the boxes. Grandma, you blew us out of the park when it came to Christmas morning. It was amazing. I don't know if you remember. Our Christmas mornings were beyond most people's.
Well,
And it was
I
just
enjoyed
like,
watching you.
I know. Well, we were over the, it was blown over the top. All the things you brought into our home. Wait, please.
She could see you.
You're in there in her
I've experienced her bad side and her one.
I love it. Tell us about the bad side. You never
It was one time, and I never went back there.
Tell us about it.
It scared me enough. I never even looked back at it. I just knew that she had some claws if she wanted to bear them. But I remember also when we were getting wed, I thought, they're telling you, look at the mother. If you want to see how she's going to turn out in 20, 30 years. And so, she was pretty well kept back in her day.
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Still well kept there, Grandma.
Yeah, yeah. And somehow I got into the family, and here I am still. Love you, Shirley.
Yes.
Oh, you got it.
61 years.
About Christmas and shopping. Well, I remember Grandma and I both used to work at Macy's.
At the same time?
Well, kind of here and there, because she did gift wrapping. And if you've ever gotten a gift from her, you know how like perfect her wrapping job is. So I try to pick some things up from that. It's not perfect, but also about 5 years ago, I went with Grandma down to Texas to visit her sister. Oldest sister? Youngest? One of the sisters. And it was a lot of fun. I don't know that she remembers all of it, but we, on one of the flights, I think it was the flight back, I brought my computer, and so we shared it and watched a movie, or started to try to watch a movie, because we were like, oh, what do you want to watch? We share headphones, and we put on a comedy, or what we thought would be a comedy, and it'd be like, suitable. It was a Will Ferrell movie, but Will Ferrell is can be crude, I guess, but pretty quickly Grandma's like, I don't think this is appropriate. I don't think this is right. So, I can't remember what movie it was, but
Step Brothers?
No, it was like 5 years ago, but it was,
He's always been.
I felt a little bad. Like, what did I expose her to? But no, it was a really great time, and I have like the best memories about Grandma. I don't have any, like, I'm sure I got in trouble with her, but all I can really hear is like, Kimberly, just the full name, and just, she was always there for us. And
Kim, I remember a time you got in trouble.
With my grandma?
Yes.
Let's hear it. Well, wait till I'm done.
So one time, Kim got in big trouble at our house because I did my own ironing.
Oh gosh.
It's a true story.
I did
Kim
not
was
get in
big
trouble for that.
trouble.
You just hold on to that. From her?
Yeah.
She was shocked. She was like, what? Kimberly doesn't do that for you?
And I was like, yeah, that's what I've been saying.
No.
You didn't iron all day, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
Hey Kim, did you get to go to one of them tea parties too?
Oh yeah, it was.
I didn't get to go.
It was a girl. It was a girl.
Didn't either, Eric. Eric.
You should have gone and hung out with
We'll
Will.
have a tea party, you and me, bro.
But I was just gonna
Like the next gen.
she's always been there for us. I remember a ton of shopping trips with her, mainly to get dolls, because she has a doll room and loves dolls, and we got some really, really cool dolls, and teddy bears. I remember that. And then also during the school year, when we were at the private school, she would volunteer in the lunchroom, and so we got to see her, every day, and just be, hi, Grandma, and just totally felt loved. So, love you, Grandma. Love you too. Happy birthday.
So when
what I will say though is, when we were growing up and going to high school at Del Valle High School in Walnut Creek, my dad was a teacher there, as you probably all know. My dad was a chemistry teacher. He also taught, I think he taught physics, he taught biology, he taught pre-algebra, algebra, but mostly chemistry teacher. So my dad knew what we were doing at the school. So it was very tough for any of us to get away with anything at Del Valle High School with my dad being a teacher there. But the double whammy was, if you left the campus, my mom worked at Del Oro High School, the continuation high school that was right down the street. You had to go down the street right towards her desk in this building. So you couldn't even leave the campus without my mom seeing us. So we were surrounded.
Well, unless you duck down on the floor. I ducked down many a time.
I was always driving the car, so I couldn't really duck down.
Really, it was a great, really great. We're so lucky to have that experience.
We grew up in a great time.
Today, it's really sad what they go through, because we had teachers who knew us. We never had to. There's no electronics. There was no, if I wanted to go get out of class, I had to go talk to a teacher or talk to my principal. Jan Anderson was a big advocate.
So just imagine, no texting, no internet, no cell phones. If you wanted to find out what your friends were doing, you picked up a phone that had a cord attached to it. So you had no privacy.
You guys listen to this? You kids, you hear this? Say that one more time.
You picked up a telephone that had a cord attached to it, so you had no privacy, and you called your friends and said, hey, what's going on? If they answered, you might get a busy signal. But yeah, that was it. That's how you communicated with your friends.
We have those at my
You got on your bicycle and you rode
It was
over the house.
way back in the olden days.
We still have those.
Okay, I have to say a couple of things. So not only was I so fortunate to meet Richard, but I married into this wonderful family that has grown, which is wonderful. But Shirley has been the best mother-in-law any woman could ever want and hope for. And she's the second Shirley in my life. My mother was a Shirley too. So, you also, so grateful for you because you have the patience to help out with this busy boy. This was the busiest little boy. And you know why you didn't get invited to the tea party? Oh, you were a boy, but also you were so busy. You would have just been knocking over all the little teacups and all the little fancy crystal things. Yeah. Patience of a saint, this woman.
Yes.
And kind, and like everyone said before, heart of gold.
Bravo.
Great. Wonderful woman.
You are the definition of Corinthians, what is it? 13, 11.
Patient.
13, 11, right?
Do anybody have any other things to share?
I'll say 80% of my memories of Grandma, well, they're all positive, but like 80% are about food or treats or just how beautiful Grandma would do everything. And I distinctly remember a few of my favorite things. Grandma's homemade apple pie every Thanksgiving. Oh my God, so sorry. Homemade apple pie with the most beautiful leaves, intricate, like detailed everything. I remember being the only grandkid, Grandma, I don't know if you remember, I got to go to women's ministries with you. Yeah. And you would make me the same veggie sandwich that you would have. And I loved it. And I felt like such a big kid. You know, there was no PB&J here. This was like veggie stacked with sprouts and wheat bread and cheese and cut perfectly. I mean, there was like nothing you did that wasn't perfection, and also just like out of so much love, and you could see it in everything you did. And I remember distinctly your blue and white kitchen with the plates everywhere at the Concord house, and I love blue and white, so I give that to you because I love blue and white, and I always think of you.
Dress.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, I just feel like everything about being with you and spending time with you. I remember spending so much time with you and going to the women's groups, your teas, everything with Bethany and Adele and I were always together with you. And
it was just so fun. I remember even one time, I'm thinking you helped me do the coloring contest. Was that Grandma? I think we picked it up at McCullough's and I won the coloring contest. And I think it was just a page that it said, you know, you could try out, and I said, I want to do this, Grandma, and you got me a copy. And I believe I colored it at your house. I mean, it took me hours. And you helped me turn it in and I won. And I remember I was like blown away. So everything was is so positive, and yeah, I feel like we have such great memories from your house. I remember the house, I remember the doll room, I remember everything so clearly.
Remember that statue with that dog right in the front?
Yes.
It was like a statue of a
Yes.
dog with the eye.
Yes.
With the Harold
Sherman,
eyes.
we call him
Sherman.
Sherman.
Yes. Yeah, just everything. And I remember even Adele and I stopping by a few times at your house in Vacaville, and you'd have sandwiches
The
made
best
for
tuna
us, cut
sandwiches
perfectly,
ever.
and just everything. You're just the best. And so I hope
They
you
always
know
compare my tuna sandwiches
how
with
loved
yours,
you are.
Mom, and
Yeah.
they don't compare.
I think it's because you would take the time to do everything
Chop everything
beautifully and just with your full heart, and it was shown in everyone. So we love you, Grandma. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
Wow, beautiful present.
I'm gonna spit something real quick too, real quick. I remember Grandma's house always had these antique mugs, like these handcrafted mugs of like faces, and there was like
They're Toby mugs.
there was like the face of like Winston Churchill and Charles Dickens and like Sitting Bull, and I would look at it and be like, did Grandma know these people? Like, who are these people? Who are these faces? Like, because there's pictures on the wall, and then there's like faces up there. You know, like Grandma might have known these people.
We still have those.
We still have
If you want one, let us know. We got them.
Bunch of them.
Was there a great grandkid who want to say anything?
Yeah, great grandkids.
Grandma, I just stopped by on my way home to see you and Grandpa, and you always have something to eat. It's so nice, such a caretaker of everybody. And I have a recent memory just from 2 weeks ago with Don. I was helping Don with his TV, and he was just expressing his heart for your friendship and just his care for you, and just even telling me, like, remembering watching you with my grandpa, you know, maybe after one of his surgeries where maybe you go to Bible study and you'd be getting situated, then you go and get a plate of food for him and bring it to him, and Don would just watch you, just like, wow, what an amazing person you are. And really, he just says you're probably one of the kindest people he's ever met. And I'd agree, 100%. And just showing so much care for everybody around you. Yeah, and Don did say that Grandpa was the luckiest guy ever, so pretty cool. I just want to just say just a challenge. Maybe it's not the best moment on the 90th birthday, but this is a really challenging season for Grandma. We all know that. And I want to give honor to my mom because she has been an incredible caretaker for Grandma. And it's everybody knows this is not easy. I mean, just to think all the love that we have for Grandma, and then every day having to face these challenges. And I just think,
thank you.
I know I live, you know, half an hour away. I come over when I can, and we try to have some time together and bring some relief. But if I just want to challenge us all in this next, whatever it's going to look like in this next several years, if we can just do a little bit more to help my mom.
Thank you.
It'd help me honor my mom by requesting that from
Thank you.
our family. So that she can keep her sanity. That's what I want to see happen.
Well,
Yeah.
Real vodka and patience.
And
Next
May,
I'll tune into that.
next May, 2024, I'm on a cruise with those three.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I'm going.
Yeah, you need to.
Somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
I think I'm the only nephew here.
Yeah.
True.
So I don't know if you know this or not. My mother's Vietnamese and my dad is Shirley's brother. And so she has been my aunt since forever. And so I was born in Vietnam, and we came to the States in 1972. And speaking of caretaker, we for 6 to 8 months, we lived with Shirley. She took us in. I was a baby. My sister was about 8, 9 years old, and then my mom was pregnant like
Tommy.
10 days after we got here, the water broke. I think Debbie found her. Yeah, and off to the hospital they went.
Wow.
And then came back to Shirley's house with a new baby.
Oh,
and 5 of us? Yeah, 5 of us living with you guys. I don't remember too much about that, but I remember the house was amazing. The dolphin.
Yes.
Richard throwing me in the pool to teach me how to swim. And then,
Sink or swim.
yeah, I mean, Shirley throughout the years has been amazing. Not only was she raising her family and her grandkids, anytime we had a concert or a baseball game or anything like that, we'd invite them and they would come. I don't know how they found the time to do it, but they came and celebrated birthdays with us and concerts and recitals. And yeah, the best aunt a kid could ever have. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
thank you, Aunt Shirley.
Always been.
Wow. Oh my God, you said my flower is amazing.
Hey, Rachel. I mean, me? All right. I had on the direct. Are we done? No, anyone else? If you have more after, you can. But I just prepared a little bit on the to recognize and honor you some more. Your name, I didn't look it up till today, but it means it's an Old English word for shire, or a bright or a meadow clearing. Meadow, right? Anyway, but in Hebrew it means a song for me, or I have a song. And then so, you know, I always think of Lord of the Rings, that's common for us for the Shire, but you think of like a welcoming place, of, you know, a safe home for us, a place you've been a welcoming home for all of us, and bright being giving out and reflecting a lot of light, shining. And so I thought of the Bible verse, Matthew 5:16, let your light so shine before men so they will see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Another way to say it is, so don't hide your light, let it shine brightly before others so that the commendable things you do will shine as light upon them and they will give their praise to your Father in heaven. And so, yeah, I thought it was fun to kind of learn more about what your name means. And then I asked some of the granddaughters, great-grands, Hannah, you want to read too still, or no? To help me read this blessing, just to pray a blessing over you, like a closing prayer, whether we stay or go. But do you want to stand and read with me, or you want to just pass the book? So this is a book I've got through one of our homeschool co-op networks about the power of a parent's blessing, and it talks about even from when your baby's in the womb even. And then the last chapters are about blessing your parents in older age. So we did this for my dad and for Marianne, and I just wanted to do it for you as well. Kind of part of this culture of honor and blessing. So I'm gonna read. We're gonna just read it as is. So it's kind of more from like Richard, Lori, and my mom, but we're gonna just say it from all of us, you know. So even though it's like that, so we want to take this opportunity to honor and bless you for your character and virtuous deeds throughout your life. We honor you, Grandma, for the years of selfless service spent in raising your children, for providing for our material, emotional, and spiritual needs. I'm just going to start there and we'll pass it around. It's right there. We'll do 2 or 3. So we honor right here. Preferring our needs over your own.
We honor you for preferring our needs over your own and for the sacrifices you've made for our sake. We honor your commitment to following the Lord Jesus, and we bless you for imparting your spiritual values to us.
We honor you for providing godly role models to follow. We are blessed and inspired by your integrity. We thank you for your many prayers that have guarded us from unseen troubles.
That's okay. Great. Just this part. Whatever you want,
We thank you for being available for us in the following ways.
In these following. Oh no, you don't have to read that. Yeah, and then parting was that one too.
We thank you for imparting your wisdom and teaching us valuable life lessons.
Yeah, and for the remaining years that God grants you to remain upon this earth, May you never be without the presence of the Holy Spirit. May your heart always be at peace. May your mind always be alert and learning. May your strength match the length of your days. May God keep you in his love at all times. We bless your memories that you may recall the goodness of God and the great times had with family and friends. We bless your spiritual life that you may continue to worship God in spirit and truth. We commit ourselves to walk with you for the rest of your journey on earth. And during these sunset years of your life, as we care for you, as Mom's caring for you, all of us will be more available to help you and look after your needs, or separate by distance to visit when we're able and to pray for you when we cannot be near. And as you look upon your children today, all your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, you're looking at the beginning of a legacy that will last for generations. We commit ourselves to carry forward your legacy and pass on our spiritual heritage to your children and our grandchildren. And if you know the song, you can sing along, just a little blessing to close it. So we can sing, Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. And then you can sing as it goes. If you know the song, you can join us like Amen, 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 Amen. And help me well finish it. I know. You good? You think it's good? But may his favorite be we can play that song on the thing, but it's good. It's all good. Yeah. There's a little more to it, but just saying basically what I just read. May his favor be upon you, and just sing it. We'll just be brave. May his favor be upon you, and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his presence go before you, and behind you, beside you, all around you. He is with you, he is with you, he is with you. Come on, everybody.
Bless you guys.